We're on.
We're on.
First of all, mate, welcome back to the channel. What about the last video then, the comments?
A few negative ones for some reason.
Only negative in respect of the
Clickbait.
clickbait.
Yeah.
That's me, innit?
Well,
Deal with it.
they sort of should expect it at this point, really.
I think so. A few people threatening to leave because of the clickbait, but sorry if it upsets people. Try not to do it too much. But there is a lot of positive ones though, isn't there?
Yeah.
I was very surprised on how many people said keep everything in the main channel.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
It's weird because when you started the second channel, there was quite a lot of people saying you need a separate channel for all this, but don't know.
Yeah, so I'm quite pleased by the reactions, really. People saying keep it in the first channel. So really what we've been doing with the second channel, obviously there's going to be more content. There'll be more content with the cars and that when they're all running, etc. And we're doing track days. But just little updates on, say, the E30 bits that we've got. You know, we don't need to really make a whole video out of that. We can just stick it in the main channel. So, you know, just break it up a little bit, won't it? And people will be, I think people are interested to see that side of it. Because at the end of the day, there was some people said like the E30 and the kit car, nothing to do with the business, but they are.
Well, they are,
because they're business cars.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing it through the business. So, yeah, it's just nice now that we can just flick the camera around and do a little bit of an update on things that we bought and how the Beamer's going, etc.
Yeah.
But what have we decided on the second channel then? So we've got a second channel that's up and running, bit surplus.
Yeah.
Good news, mate.
Yeah.
You're going to be taking it over. So it's
Ideal.
going to be Isaac's channel. So you can do things, you know, whatever you want to do on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're part of the business, aren't you? So a lot of people know you are. So really you can do updates on your Subaru.
Trying to think of sort of like some different stuff.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. People got any put down in the comments what they suggest you can do. But you know, even just do what I do: sit down in the car and vlog about your car and what have you. Any issues you have with the Subaru, you can bang that on. Hopefully, you don't have many.
Well, sure.
But yeah, I just think it's be a good opportunity for you.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to do it.
Yeah,
it'll be cool.
And it'd be, as I say, there'd be a bit of revenue in there, wouldn't there, for you? So, be an incentive to pump the videos out. And really, it'll be the same sort of thing as it is now, but it just won't. You know, I can just concentrate on the main channel. Really. Yeah. You can do that in your own time, and so there we go. Update on that. But moving on to the technical side of it, mate. I'm just about to put the Ingenium engine together.
Right.
Or the bottom end.
Yeah.
So you can see, got the liners in, all looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks lovely.
Got 3 of the pistons in already. So just about to put the 4th one in, so I'll just run you through what we've got here. Obviously you've got the mains, caps, the big ends here. These are a snap type big end on the rods. They're brand new rods in this, all the rods, so new bolts and everything. And you can see it's a snap type. So what they do from the factory is they'll, rather than machine a separate cap to the rod, what all they do is they just cast the rod in one thing, and then they just snap the big end. So it can only go back on. So it's clever, really. Yeah,
it is.
The only thing is with these, you can't resize them.
No.
Because obviously they're snap type. But yeah, cuts a lot of machining processes down. It's quite a good idea. We've got a new crankshaft. New pistons, obviously. So the bearings, interesting one. So these are the mains. They're a conventional alloy bearing. You've got the ones that go in the block there with the oil feed, and then you've got the blank bottom half that go in the caps. Okay, take a bit more load, and then you've got a sputter type bearing in the rods.
Oh right.
What is a sputter bearing, you may ask?
I will ask because I don't know. So
what they do on like diesel applications and high performance, high load engines, because this is obviously it's got a lot of compression, high load. They use a sputter bearing. So the sputter bearing in the rod will go into the rod as opposed to the cap. It goes on the load where you're getting the most load, pushing down. if you have a sputter bearing type in the mains, it will go in the cap because the crank's being pushed downwards, okay? So they do various different materials in sputter. These are ones I've never seen before, to be honest with you. So the conventional type, this is probably going to be an aluminium alloy maybe, or just an alloy bearing, conventional. This sputter type here, looking at the back, looks a bit coppery. I'd imagine this is like a hardened copper material with maybe like a hard lubricant coating on there.
Right.
That's sometimes what they have. I don't know. I could be wrong. If anyone recognises them,
it's almost like ceramic.
Weirdly. Yeah, it's you know, sometimes they use, like, as I say, they use like a lubricant coating, or other times, I mean, sometimes they're like a matte black finish where it would be like a just part of the hardening process of the bearing. It's like a coating on it. But yeah, so they go into the rod, mate. So what I'm going to do is leave the caps all down here in line. So we've got the front here. The pistons have got an arrow on facing to the front. So they're all loaded in. And the rod, this is a bit of an odd type rod, isn't it, this?
Yeah.
It's not...
it's like some of the old MGs and stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit like the old school design, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we do is obviously nice clean surface in there. You can't get these bearings wrong because the tags are on the wrong side on this side, so you wouldn't be able to put that bearing in there. Okay?
Oh, right, yeah.
If you did put it the other way around, you could end up in engine damage, fairly sharpish. So at the moment, we're not going to lubricate this, and the reason for that is because when I turn it over and get the crank in, we're going to plastic gauge it. So we've lubricated the bore. We put some oil inside the bore. Okay. We're going to offset the rings, set the ring gaps. So just roughly sort of 120 degrees out from each other. Ring clamp on, which is broke. Ordered another one. Engine builders with not a decent ring clamp. Never mind.
Well, it was decent, wasn't it?
It was decent.
Let's give up.
Yeah, so you can't, with this type of big end, you can't put these down the hole because the bolt comes out at an angle. You can't put them down the hole with the cap on. Not that you particularly want to, but I'm just saying you can't. So what we do is just put them down the hole, gently tap the ring clamp down so it sits on top of the block square, and then with this end of the mallet, just very gently tap the piston down evenly. Because this clamp is not great. So there we go. We're just going to leave them all at the top of the bore at the moment. All right, then we're going to turn it over, put our main bearings in, put the crank in, and plastic gauge it. So the rear seal I've lowered onto the crankshaft before we put it in the block. This is a PTFE type. It's not a rubber type. With a rubber type, we would lubricate, probably grease the flange that it sits on and also the inner lip, just so on initial startup it doesn't tear the rubber. But with PTFE, you put them on dry, okay?
Yeah.
It's got a rubber coating on the outside, and they come, because PTFE is very delicate, they come loaded onto this applicator here, which you just feed onto the end of the crank. It's the same diameter here as the flange, and then you just slide the seal on and then do away with that. All right, so we'll turn that over, mate, get the crank loaded in and see what bearing clearance we've got.
Sounds good.
Hello, guys. In front of the old sign again in the office. What does that mean? Well, we may as well. It's Friday, innit? Let's have a little rant. Not clickbait. But first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for all your comments on the last video regarding the second channel. Pleased in a way, but part of me is a little bit confused. Now, the reason we started the second channel really was because we were taking note of the comments, as we always do with you, read through there. And a lot of people were saying, look, we don't want to see you going on about the BMW or the kit car in the main channel. Start another channel. So we start another channel. And yes, people do watch, as a lot of you do watch it. So thank you very much for that. And it in some respects, it was quite good separating them both. But now it's quite a lot of work for me. You know, I've got a lot of work in here. I've got a lot of work with running the main channel, finding content for that. It would just be easier. And now what you've said in the comments, I'm sort of relieved in a way, because now I can concentrate on just putting whatever I want into the main channel. And whoever doesn't like it, well, I'm sorry, we can't do everything. But it's great news, and I think it's a brilliant idea. Let me know what you think about Isaac running the second channel. So going to be the same sort of stuff. He's going to be going on about the track car. Maybe he'll take his camera to the track days, do whatever, you know. Still be sort of same sort of thing. It would just be Isaac's little baby, wouldn't it? So yeah, as I say, guys, head over to that channel. Please keep watching that. And if you haven't already, subscribe and like to Isaac's channel. Anyway, what am I ranting about today? Now, it's probably around Christmas, wasn't it? I decided to call it a day with all the credit accounts. We've always done it for years and years and years, so it was a bit alien to me. But I emailed everyone and said, listen, we're not going to do a credit account anymore. I can't be bothered to keep chasing. It was causing me anxiety with the overdues. A lot of people were good as gold, and you know, were in the habit. And I know that's the way a lot of garages work, and businesses and parts department, etc. They all work on account. But a lot of people these days have done away with it. It's pay as you go. You know, a lot of our suppliers work like that. We just pay over the phone. You know, no problem at all. So that's what we've decided to do. And in fairness, a lot of people, no one's really queered it. A lot of the garages have said, you know, I don't blame you at all, the way things are these days. So they're good as gold. They just pay, and it's a lot better for me. The way I've got my Sage account set up there from my accountant is it shows all the overdues are all sort of recent and outstandings, and they're you know, it just shows what we've still got on the shelf basically. And as soon as they pick it up and pay, it gets marked off on there, so I can see what's gone out. It's a lot better for me. Although, the real reason I started doing it was because, I hate to say it, main dealers, absolute nightmare. Trying to get money out of them and get it. It was like a whole never-ending world of email addresses and emailing this person and that person. Next month it'll be a different person. So they were the real reason I decided to do it. But lo and behold, guys, and I know I'm probably going to have some of the main dealers that we deal with get in touch with me next week and say, are you on about us? Well, I'm not on about anyone in particular. I'm not going to mention any names, but we are still not being paid on collection from main dealers. Apparently, John has spoke to a couple of main dealers and they can't physically do it. They haven't got a card that they can pay for over the phone. Although they expect us to, if we order parts from their parts department, they want a card over the phone. Bit weird. Like Isaac stated, what about if they wanted to go down and buy a bunch of coffees for the lads in the office? Do they have to get Greg's to invoice them? I don't know, you know. But yeah, they just can't seem to pay. A couple of them, they say you've got to email yet another address. So on one particular main dealer on our system, we've got 5 email addresses I have to email to get paid. I've still got the anxiety of not knowing when they're going to pay it. Are they going to pay it in an hour? Are they going to pay it in a month? I don't know. There's no sort of, they can't put a time on it. It's just, we have to do the job, email them, and then, you know, I don't know when I'm going to get paid. So, bit of a nightmare, guys. Let me know your experience with any of the main dealers, whether it's a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, it just seems to be, I don't know. It probably because we're the small fry, I expect, as far as payments and the amount of money owed, etc. But yeah, can't just take a card over the phone, yet they do expect us to in a lot of cases. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments to that, guys. Right, guys, this is my first attempt with the gimbal here. Isaac's usually cameraman, but I'm videoing him, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's getting on with one of the A series.
Yep.
Aren't you, mate?
Yep, so this is the 1990 Cooper S.
Ooh.
It didn't look as bright as this when it came in,
No.
but that is the same colour that was on it.
Is that the original BMC red?
Yep.
It's a lovely colour.
So yeah, it's quite.
Was this red when it come in?
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
red,
dark
but it's
red.
just all. It looked really dark. Yeah, it almost looked like what's on the corner of this one.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But it's obviously just.
Well, they do them in various colours, don't they? Like the green.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks nice, mate.
Yeah,
So,
John reckons this is the original. So
oh, is it?
original colour.
So we've board faced.
Board faced. New core plugs, paint.
Camshaft bearings all good.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So on the A series,
Yeah, they seem right.
you've got obviously it's a push rod engine. You've got the camshaft in the block. There's the camshaft there, and it runs in white metal bearings. So you have to make sure those bearings are good. If not, replace them. Pistons and rods. Rods size up all right?
Yeah, just got one round there because I've measured it again. It's a little bit tight in one spot, so I'm going to try and ease that out.
Right. So we've got a new clutch and flywheel.
Yeah,
This is the one that you had to cut the clutch off. Is that right?
Off this one.
You've got a new one of them.
Yeah, all new bits.
So which one's the cylinder head?
The red
That's
one.
the one there, is it? What are these two then?
That's for the other one.
I mean, I'm trying to get the hang of this gimbal here.
Weird, isn't it?
It is weird because you've got to do everything in sort of slow motion, haven't
Yeah.
you? Obviously, you've got all the rocker. The rockers are all good.
Yeah.
It looks like an uprated rocker assembly anyway, doesn't it?
I thought that.
These look
but
all a bit
John
uprated.
reckons that on the later ones they were like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show how much I know about the A series.
I didn't even know they did them up until 1990 and beyond. But
It looks pretty trick though. And all painted, mate. So you've masked that up and painted it correctly. Very nice. Nice little small clutch plate. Yeah, it looks very nice, mate. Looking forward to seeing this one built. So
yeah. So
next step.
next step is I've just got to balance the rods.
Yeah.
And then we can get those new pistons on the rods.
Lovely.
I think I'm going to have a go at doing that. But,
Because there's no circlips on these, is there?
Yeah.
So you've got to heat the rod.
Get your John to show me that, and I'll have a go.
Get you sweating.
Yeah.
Make sure they're in time. The trouble is with these non-circlip types, you've seen me doing before. You've got to heat the small end up and get them all sort of lined up and in and lined up before it goes off. Because as soon as that heats up the pin and it sort of cools down and closes, it grips the pin, and that's what holds it in. So you ain't got time to waste, really.
So yeah, I've balanced the crank on this one as well.
Yeah.
Still yet to get an oil pump, I think.
Yeah, nifty little oil pump, innit? I was just about to say about that.
Yeah, John can get them down the road.
Yeah, you can get them down the road. But yeah, nice little oil pump that goes on the end of the block.
And I think this one, we've got all the gearbox, well, the sump, all the gearbox and everything as well. So I don't know what we're doing with that, whether we're getting that looked at by somebody.
Yeah, sometimes I said before we give Bob Tucker a ring.
Yeah.
I suppose Bob's semi-retired now, but he's had a lot to do with these A series, and he's done a
over.
lot of gearboxes for us. So we'll get him to have a look at that, make sure everything's all right, and yeah, cracking on, mate.
Well on its way.
Ideal.
And the other one won't be too far behind it.
The other one won't be too long. They're both bored now, aren't they, and faced.
Yeah.
Ideal. Well done, mate. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a lovely weekend, and we will see you Monday. Cheers.